Starkey.
Leopard.
That's me.
What's this?
McCarthy.
Well, they got it all right.
Evening.
Harrison, whoever wrote this out.
Derek Taylor.
Oh, you're being funny, are you, eh?
Well,
Funny he is.
3 facts. Good evening.
Hello, everybody.
Who's first? We are.
Oh, stand up if you want to leave the room.
Do you want anything in particular?
Could you walk down this one little place?
Stay where
Stay, oh, look out.
Oh, we see one there.
Stay where you are, the big boss.
See, met it? Oh,
It's a woman.
Yes.
Yes, that's nice.
that is good.
Please, 1 minute for the children. Before we start, you don't mind it.
I don't
I'd
mind.
like to introduce you to Mr. Derek Taylor, who is Mr. Epstein's personal assistant and who I think is the Beatles' pop. He will tell you all about them, and any other help we can give you, we'll be glad to do later. Right?
Correct.
Hello, Derek.
Hello, Derek.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Melbourne. The Beatles, John Lennon, Ringo Starr,
Here he is.
Paul McCartney,
You do?
George Harrison, and for the first time, 5 Beatles, Jimmy Nicol, who will be leaving us tomorrow, who's done marvellous work during the temporary, brief but very grave illness of Ringo Starr.
Pretty grave. So grave.
We're dividing it, I think, dividing it into 4 parts. The first part will be pictures for about 10 minutes, and then the writers, and then there'll be a break while we go out for a drink and you go out for a drink, all separately. And then the boys come back for television, then they go out again for another drink, and then they come back for radio.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope it comes out. So do I was moving.
Where's Jim?
Is this live or what?
You go, Mike.
Is this on or is it live or is it?
Film.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you like, we can cut it out.
no, I wasn't thinking of that. Right. Yes, research.
I got the equipment
So early, I know.
One of those which way we've only got one still lived is I've got to enunciate loud and clear, otherwise. In view of the fact that you've had so much experience now with crowd hysteria, are you still at a loss to put your finger on the reason why?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Do you find the crowds nerve-wracking? Was there any moments at all that you were worried about today?
Well, I was rather worried when I was laying on the floor.
At what stage were you laying on the floor?
Trying to get into the hotel.
But seriously, though, you were jammed into the front entrance.
There's 2 people asking me questions now.
Sorry?
Excuse me, while I sort it out.
You were really worried, were you not? You were jammed into the front entrance of the hotel and you were starting to get a little panicky.
I was starting to get a little panicky. But the police did a great job. They're standing over there, you see.
The function's
All right, fellas.
Boys, it's true that you have not had a chance to move out of your hotels since you arrived in Australia. You've virtually been locked up.
Yes.
Why is this? Don't you want to go out, in other words?
Well, it's not particularly that.
Been out lately.
We don't expect to go out, you know, on a tour, really. If we get out, it's just a bit of luck, I'd say.
I'd say
But you haven't had a chance to go to a party, to see anything.
You can have a party in
Parties,
a
no.
hotel if you want to have a party. We're not very keen on
Yeah,
parties.
but how do you get to know the people to invite along?
Well,
Our
we very
friends
seldom
invite
have them, and if we do, they're usually people from the show or people that we've met.
John, if you hadn't been a Beatle, or if the Beatles hadn't been successful, what career would you have chosen?
I probably would have been in prison.
What about you, Ringo?
Well, I was an engineer for 4 years. I must probably still be there, slogging away.
You wouldn't have turned to writing, John, would you?
No.
I wouldn't have written John.
Mass reaction from a crowd like you had here in Melbourne today really worry you? Do you regard it as social misbehaviour, or do you still want
Rubbish.
Time, you know.
We love it, you know, it's good.
We've been told not to turn round, you see.
Oh, we love it.
So we got to, it's a bit mad, we got to look this way and
Your
talk to him.
haircuts, do you think you started this fashion, or was this fashion already coming in and you adopted it?
It wasn't, it's not really
He's a few
fashion.
years older than us, actually.
No, we don't
Julius
reckon the...
Caesar had it.
Yeah, he had one, didn't he?
Remember him? Little fella.
Yeah.
The
Napoleon.
Lions.
What about on tour? Do you have to get a haircut at all?
We never have to. It's usually,
If you feel like, that is, you
usually
can.
when it annoys you around the ears and things.
Are you interested in sport at all?
No.
What about
Swimming, you know.
that's sport?
Do you
think you're
religious?
The way we swim?
Are we religious?
No.
I'm
No,
not really,
actually.
no.
Do you think the effect that you have on teenagers is good, healthy effect?
Good, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bad, you know. I mean,
Well, there's been no cases of it being bad, so it must probably be good, I think.
Is it to any extent a calculated effect, or is this an effect that's just come naturally to each and every one of you?
I think it's sort of snowball. It's more natural. And it's more natural than, you know, it's not calculated.
Can we ask you to amplify the point then, how this hysteria generates? Nobody seems to be able to put their finger on a reason why. It seems to be a combination of things. What do you believe it is?
Yeah, well, in an
audience at any rock and roll concert, there's always, when we first started, nobody really knew us, there's always a section that scream at everybody. And then if the others like it as well, they'll join in.
Do these people who scream upset you because it's impossible to even hear you sing?
No, they can hear quite a lot. They can hear more than most people.
It only seems to be reporters that can't hear
anything. You've definitely got to be tuned into it, you know.
Have you heard Ella Fitzgerald's version of Can't Buy Me Love?
Yes.
Yes, and we're flattered.
Yes,
I think it's great.
Do you think this is a great honour?
We do.
Do you like Ella Fitzgerald and her type of music?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think we like it more because we wrote it. No, that's true, you know.
Out of John and Paul, John, who writes the music and who writes the lyrics?
We both write both, you know. It depends who's humming and who's writing at the time.
Can you read music?
No.
How do you follow it?
You memorize it or tape it. If you can't remember it, it's usually not very good or it's complicated. You know.
When you're at home playing records, who are your favourite record stars?
Marvin Gaye, American coloured artists. You know.
And groups.
Rock artists?
Mainly.
Well, they're not
sort of rock and rhythm and blues, you know.
Can you predict any changes in musical fashions?
No, you can't predict it.
John, your book has just gone on sale. You have an indication of how sales are going here?
No, not at all.
How's it going overseas?
Oh, very well.
What is your favourite part in the book?
Act 1, Scene 3.
Not a joke.
Some of your critics have said the book is inclined to be a little sick. Do you agree?
Well, if the people that read it are sick, it's sick. You know, it depends on your mind. You can read it and feel sick and know what you like.
Do you enjoy sick humour?
Some of it's good, some of it's just stupid.
Did it take you long to write the book, John?
Most of it was written last year, and some of it there's bits and pieces I've collected, you know, over the years.
Do you believe that you fellows started the Mersey beat?
Well,
no such thing.
We call it rock and roll. It was the press started Mersey beat because it was just a handle to write on, you know, call it.
Can you tell us why Liverpool has sent us so much music lately?
Probably because there was nobody ever bothered going up there to see what was happening, and groups just sort of accumulated.
You maintain it's always been there, then?
Well, since when I started the group, there was hundreds of groups going then, you know.
Paul, apropos of your comment that you don't like sport, you fellas are supposed to be members of the Mersey Millionaires. They were here recently, your Everton soccer team, and they were expecting you to come down here and watch them play.
Oh, well, I mean, that's something
that's
to do
different,
with home,
isn't it?
you know.
That's the old patriotism and all that.
If we stick up for anybody, it's
How many
ours and
guitars do you own?
Whoever's winning.
I don't know, about 12, I think.
You seem on stage to pay a great deal of attention to the sound that you're making.
Well, that's just checking to see if I'm out of tune.
Are you ever?
Yes.
Yes.
How do you know?
Because
You can hear them.
I'm out of tune.
You can hear it, actually.
We can hear it because we're used to it, you know. Same as you'd know if you were speaking backwards.
What do you intend to do when you go back to Britain? Have you got any engagements lined up?
Quite a few.
I want to stop in Australia first.
Sorry about
How
that,
long?
Jim. Didn't know.
Have you had any firm offer here in
I
Australia?
haven't had
Jimmy?
any firm offer Australia.
Are you in the market for one?
Yes.
Good.
I think.
As a drummer with a group?
Not with the group.
Not
no.
with the group.
No.
What did you think of Frances Faye in Sydney?
Fabulous, she knocked me out.
Did she? She must
They're a
have
great
hit
big
you hard.
club.
You going back to play again?
I hope so, yeah.
Do you feel like men out here?
No, not a bit.
What do you intend to do with all your money?
Who? Us?
Yes.
Spend it
On what?
on anything we want to buy.
You're all fairly young to be handling large sums of money. Do you have some sort of financial advice?
Yeah,
or do you
we're
pay your
not-
own way?
We
We're
have
not
accountants who
handling
look after everything, you know.
An accountant and a wise manager.
Yeah.
And the accountant gives you an allowance each week?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he'd give us more if we asked, but we don't need it, you know.
Ringo, if there is any comparison as far as audience reaction is concerned to you fellows, I suppose it would surround Elvis Presley. He changed his style of presentation. He sings a lot of ballads now. Do you think you'll do the same?
Not if... no, I don't think so. We may do. I don't sing, you know. That's one of the others.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, no, I don't think we will.
Paul, what do you think is the song that the audience likes best? What was the one that drew the biggest reaction in Adelaide?
Well, you can't tell, you know, because...
Long Tall Sally, probably.
I would have said that, but, you know, we'd already announced it was the last song.